Hey, fourth grade, welcome to Thursday. What an awesome week we've had. It's also been so exciting to get the chance to talk with a lot of you today during our video meeting. That was so awesome. So, the few things that you needed to turn in for today is answering your final book club question in Google Classroom. Completing your final three reviews for the unique talent videos. So you did 3 yesterday, you did 3 more today for a total of 6. In math, you have a short quiz for week 3. Social studies, you are finishing up your work on the landmarks section and then turning that in by tomorrow. And then the only thing you need to know about during break is if you have not finished your book club book, that it is still your responsibility to finish that book before we come back from spring break. Because you got to know how it ends. You can't just stop reading. Remember, our goal in 4th grade is to read books cover to cover, not just stop. So, let's read first. And then I have a special surprise for you at the end, so make sure you are staying with me to the very end of this video. So, in Maniac McGee, Maniac has found a new friend, Grayson, this old guy, and he's taken him in, he fed him, gave him new clothes, and Maniac is planning on staying with him, with Grayson, so we'll have to see what happens. So, it's not so bad here, he said. Look. He lay down on the chest protectors and closed his eyes. Ah, just like a mattress. I can feel myself dozing off already. Then, not wanting to hurt the old man's feelings, he quickly added, Hey, I told you everything about me. How about you? He pulled Grayson's coat over himself. A bedtime story. Grayson snorted. Story? I don't know no stories. Sure you do, Maniac prodded. About yourself. You know about yourself. Everybody has a story. Not me. Grayson was edging for the door. I ain't got no stories. I ain't nobody. I work at the park. You line football fields. Yep, I do that. You live at the Y, and you drive a pickup truck. You like butterscotch crimpets. Grayson shook his head. Not as much as you. I was just eating them to be friendly. So's you wouldn't be eating them all by yourself. And there's another thing about you, Maniac joked. You're a liar. Grayson opened the door. Wait, called Maniac. What did you want to grow up and be when you were a kid? Grayson paused in the doorway. He looked out into the night. Baseball player, he said. He turned out the light and closed the door. Chapter 25. In the morning, Grayson bought Maniac an Egg McMuffin and a large orange juice. He brought the same thing for himself, and they ate breakfast together. In the baseball equipment room, You sent me to bed without a story last night, Maniac kidded. Grayson blushed. He brushed a yellow speck of egg from his white stubble. I don't got no stories. I told ya. You wanted to be a baseball player. That ain't no story. Well, did you become one? Grayson drank half his orange juice. Just the minors, he muttered. Maniac yelped. The minors? Couldn't never make it to the majors. There was a frayed weariness in the old man's words, as though they had long since worn out. Grayson, the minors? Man, you must have been good. What position did you play? Grayson said, pitcher. This word, unlike the others, was not worn at all, but fresh and robust. It startled Maniac. It declared, I am not what you see. I am not a line-laying, pickup driving, live at the Y, bean-brained park hand. I'm not rickety, whiskered, worn out. I'm a pitcher. Maniac had sensed there was something more to the old man. Now he knew what it was. Grayson, what's your first name? The old man fidgeted. Earl. But call me Grayson, like everybody. He looked at the clock on the wall. Gotta go. Grayson, wait. I'm late for work. You ought to be in school. He was gone. Grayson returned at noon bearing Zeps and sodas, and was not allowed to leave until he told Maniac one story about the minor leagues. So he told the kid about his first day in the minors. With Bluefield, West Virginia, in the Appalachian League, Class D. Can't get no lower than that, he told the kid. That's where you broke in. Don't have D-ball no more. He told about thumbing a ride to Bluefield, and when he got there, picking up a gas station attendant and asking which way to the ballpark. He thumbed a ride to Bluefield. So Bluefield is a place, and if you thumbed a ride, we don't really see this nowadays, but thumbing up is hitchhiking. Seeing those people on the side of the road with their thumbs up. They're waiting for somebody to just stop and let them join their car ride to wherever they're going. Nowadays, people don't do that. But that's what thumbing a ride is they're just asking strangers, hey, can I ride in your car? At the gas station, the man told him, sure, but first I gotta ask you something. You're a new ball player, right? Just coming on board? And Grayson said, yep, that's right. And the man said, I thought so. Well then, you're just gonna have to make your first stop right over there. He pointed across the street. That there restaurant, the Blue Star, you just go right on in there and sit yourself down and tell the waitress you want the biggest steak on the menu. And anything else you want too, 'cause it's all on the house. The Blue Star treats every new rookie to his first meal in town. He gave a wink. They want your business. Great, thought Grayson. And he did just that. Only when he got up and left, the restaurant came running over. Across the street, all mad at Grayson for skipping out. And when Grayson told him he was a rookie just picking up his first free meal, the owner got even madder. Seems the gas station man was a real card and liked to welcome rookies with his little practical joke. I should have known. Should have known. And that's how it came to be that when the Blue Field Bullets took the field that day, they did so without the services of their new pitcher. He was back in the kitchen at the Blue Star restaurant, doing dishes to work off a 16-ounce steak, doing dishes to work off half a boiled chicken and 2 pieces of rhubarb pie. After a story like that, Maniac couldn't just stay behind, so he tagged along with Grayson, went back to work. He helped the old man raise a new fence around the children's petting farmyard. When the park superintendent came around and asked about the kid, Grayson said it was his nephew, come to visit for a while. The superintendent who managed the budget said, "We can't pay him, you know." And Grayson said, "Fine, no problem." And that was that. From then on, Maniac was on the job with Grayson every afternoon. They raised fences, mended fences, hauled stone, patched asphalt, painted, trimmed trees. They ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner together. Sometimes in the equipment room, sometimes at the restaurant. They spent weekends together. All the time, Grayson told baseball stories, insisting all along, "I ain't got no stories." He told about the Appalachian League, the Carolina League, the Pecos League, Bullseye, and the Mexican League, about the Twin Oaks, and Naztec Pelicans, and Jessup George Browns, and the Laredo Lariats. All minor league teams. Minor league baseball. Gross hotels and buses, stadiums, horrible fans, unwashed water buckets, curveballs, and bus fumes and dreams of the majors. Clean sheets, and an umpire at every base. The happiest story being the one about Willie Mays' very last at-bat in the minor leagues before he went up to the New York Giants and immortality. Well, it was old Grayson himself who had the last crack at Mays. In the 9th inning of a game with Indianapolis, what did Grayson do? All he did was set the Say Hey Kid down swinging on 3 straight curveballs. The saddest story was the one about the scout who came down from Toledo. The Mud Hens had a roster slot, and the scout had a notion to fill it with the pitcher, with the wicked curveball. Name of Earl Grayson. This was Grayson's big chance for the Mud Hens. Was class AAA ball, 1 short step from the majors. The night before the game, Grayson spent half of it on his knees by his bed praying, and even 5 minutes before the game in the dugout, he bent down, pretending to tie his shoe, closed one eye, and prayed, "Please, let me win this ball game," which was something, since he never really had gone to church in his life. Indeed. And maybe he was listening to the major leaguers, because Grayson took the mound and proceeded to pitch a flat-out, awful game of his life. His curveball wasn't curving. His sinker wasn't sinking. His knuckler wasn't knuckling. The batters were teeing off as if it were the invasion on Normandy Beach. Before the 3rd inning was over, The score was 12-0. And Grayson was in the showers. He was 27 years old then. And that was the closest he would ever get to the big show. He hung on for 13 more years, the baseball junkie winding up in some hot tamale league in Mexico until his curveball could no longer bend around so much as a chili pepper, and his fastball was slower than a senorita's answer. He was short, 40, out of baseball, and for all intents and purposes, out of life. All those years in the game and all he was fit to do was clean a restroom, sweep a floor, lay a chalk line. Or, far, far down the road, tell stories to a wide-eyed, homeless kid. When we come back from break, you are on chapter 26. But I promised you that there was a special surprise at the end of this video. So hold on a second, and I will show you my surprise.
Started it.
So what I want to show you is how to explode an egg. Mine is a plastic chicken. So in this experiment, you are going to need Alka-Seltzer, an egg or a closed container that can stand up, and water. So the cool thing about Alka-Seltzer, even though it is a medicine, technically, is that Alka-Seltzer has baking soda, sodium bicarbonate. It also has citric acid. And when it is a solid, such as in these tablets, it doesn't create a reaction or a gas. It's creating carbon dioxide. And so our ideal situation here is to put a tablet inside the bottom of your container. I'll add water, and you want to close it up pretty much as quickly as you can so the gas gets trapped and your egg will explode. So hey, 4th grade. So my attempt never exploded. So how you can problem solve that is by using more tablets. A lot of my tests, especially with my egg shape, exploding worked better with at least 2 tablets in the egg, but it exploded so fast that it exploded all over my hand. So I hope you try my experiment because it is pretty fun. But I hope you all have a fun and safe spring break. See you later, 4th grade.